Hello, good people. We are having a podcast here today on something that is very important. It's like Dr. Martin Luther King said, an injustice somewhere to someone is an injustice everywhere. What's the quote? You guys know the quote?
Yeah, I'm here.
What is the quote exactly?
They just said injustice somewhere is injustice to everyone or something.
Because even though you might not be affected by the injustice, you should still care about injustice. So our topic today is racism. It's a scary word. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. But in order for us to evolve and grow, we need to have these difficult discussions and dialogue. But also we need to try to come out with some solutions, not to just talk of rhetoric. So we want to come out with two solutions. So the first question, first of all, introduce you guys and who you guys are.
Ladies first.
Yeah. Well, my name is Rachel Williams. I work with the Wealth Academy. It's a black-owned brokerage in Dunwoody, and we educate, just finances and make sure people are educated. My background is nursing. I've been an emergency room nurse for over 16 years,
Wow.
and I'm an Army nurse veteran as well.
Oh, wow. Thank you for your service, and thank you for taking care of people.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Attorney Nathan Fitzpatrick. I've been an attorney about 15 years, and I represent people who are injured.
My name is Thomas Powell. I'm a barbershop owner, entrepreneur. Also, too, I have a nonprofit where I teach kids financial literacy and life skills.
That's what's up.
That's great. It's all about, helping people. And hopefully through this podcast, we can help some people. And we just want to pose a question here. Where has racism, where was it in the past? Where do we think it is today? And where do we think it's going? Because there's a lot of people who think that racism is gone. It's no more. There's a lot of programs that are being eliminated. Please correct me, DIE, is that the?
DEI.
DEI. Programs are being eliminated throughout our country. There's a lot of laws that are being passed down that's flying under the public's radar until it smacks and hits them in the face. One of those in the state of Georgia, there's State Bill 68. And our governor, Governor Kemp, the good Governor Kemp, I will say the good Governor Kemp, but he but he put a law for tort reform. So it went to a hearing, and the reason they want to have reform is, the reason Governor said, is because it's going to lower insurance premiums. I don't know many things in life where the price goes down. I see it always go up. And I was at many of the hearings at the state capitol trying to advocate for the people, and I didn't see one insurance carrier. Now, I have many friends who work for insurance companies, general counsels, adjusters, but I'm saying the reason they were proposing this bill is to lower insurance premiums. And I bet 98% of the people, the population, and please chime in, don't know that this law was just voted on last week.
No,
And it passed.
I didn't even hear about it.
Well, let me just jump in here and talk real quick. The alleged proposal is for a tort reform, but it's not actually going to lower any premiums, right? That's the justification for proposing the law. But and to everybody out there listening, your insurance premiums aren't going to go down. As Mr. Lumpkins was saying, prices only go one way, and they ain't giving nothing back to nobody. So, this whole idea that this is going to cause the premiums to be reduced, this is something that was expressed in the hearings at the Capitol. And they came out and said it themselves, that nothing in the bill required premiums to be reduced and that this wasn't going to be something that was going to, in fact, lower the premiums. And when they've passed similar legislation in other states, it didn't happen that way. So, you know, the rates are going to continue to go up. This is just a way for some special interests to receive more money. The insurance carriers, insurance corporations, they're going to have bigger profits. And it's really at the expense of Georgians like me and everybody out there listening, the people at this table, just for the simple fact you're going to have less access to the courts. And should you need to go to court because you're injured, or should you need to have a case because something happened to you, you know, you're not going to be in the same position to recover. And that's unfortunate. And it's something I heard you talk about earlier, is just the limit to access for a lot of people. It's just going to push them away from types of medicine that would be more healing and natural to more emergency rooms where maybe you're going to get on muscle relaxers or you get the opioids. You know, it's just going to really turn things around for a lot of folks. It's unfortunate.
And the question I'd like to pose is, you guys, which I think is a part of most of the population didn't know about this particular bill. And initially I didn't understand and see a viewpoint that it could affect black people more than any others. In the state of Georgia, there's 33% black people that live in the state of Georgia. When it's personal injury claims, it's over 75% of the people who follow through with a personal injury case are black people. Now, a lot of times it's because of their financial circumstances, so they will fight more, they will get treatment, they will hire an attorney, while other folks who maybe have more money, who have adequate insurance, won't go through that. So if we're looking at these numbers at over 70%, getting this real money, like Nate helps people when they're injured. He's gotten people $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 at one time. And if the people who are, the majority of the people who are getting this money look like me, do you think that there's an undercurrent within the administration, and I'm talking about the presidential administration, where it's a trickle-down effect to where we don't know about these things, and it's something intended to hurt the black community?
So there's a lot to unpack there with that question. You know what I mean? At a certain point, I think this particular thing, I think it's going to have a more devastating effect on the black community, kind of like what you're alluding to. Was this being perpetuated to have that effect on the black community? No, I wouldn't be sure to go there. I think the people who wanted this had an agenda for themselves, okay. You know what I mean? And okay. It was less about anybody else other than themselves. You know what I mean? So when, you know, governor came out and said, hey, this is what I want, this is my #1 priority, I mean, that was his #1 priority, you know what I'm saying? To hell with anybody else. I don't even know if that was colorblind or if it was on purpose, but I don't know. I think there's a lot going on in the presidential administration that's affecting black people. But this particular thing, I don't know.
I think, have you ever seen a business, right? And you go and you pull up to the business, it's just people hanging outside, and then they basically just doing whatever they want, right? They basically done took over somebody's business because the person that owns the business has no control, right? So you kind of lose control over your business because you basically allow the people inside your business to take over in a way where now you done lost control over all the employees, and now it's like you come in your business and you feel weird. Right, that's what's going on in this country. Yeah, we have allowed these people to take over and do whatever they want to do. And you know, if people come together as a collective, right? Because we so separated with trying to chase financial success, trying to get attention on the internet, trying to be loved and get likes, and we've forgotten that we all in the same boat, right? So if my kids are addicted to the internet, right, and they're addicted to cell phones, later on when they become grown, are they going to be independent? Or are they going to be able to focus on one thing? Most of these kids going to have ADD, right? Yeah, for all sure. Of these things are being passed down because we're allowing them to do things to us without us stepping in and saying, hey man, this is my shop.
Right.
This is my shop.
Move
Yeah.
around.
What y'all doing, man? You can't be in the front of my shop smoking. You got to go down here and you got to go in front of the building. Like, you can't do that here. See, that's what we've done in this country. We allow them to do whatever they want and we just talk in a circle, but we do nothing about it.
There's no action.
It's no action.
There's no action.
So, without fear, then you got people that they're willing to do anything. How far are you going to push the envelope? Or by now, they done pushed us off the cliff and we rolling down that motherfucker. Bam, 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 busting our head. Because they have taken it so far that we lost all of the control, we lost all of the unity, we lost all of the understanding of solutions. It's like we just talk in a room now. That's it. But there's no forward thinking, like, okay, we're gonna write down all of the people that's in charge of this law that just passed, and we're gonna come 100,000 deep, and we're gonna have a march in front of the building, and we're gonna take our money away from the insurance companies that are involved.
And as you say that, I want to thank someone like Attorney Fitzpatrick, who has been consistent with action in the community, not just in his legal realm of taking care of folks, but actually being in the community and being about it, as you said. But we must take action, and we can't take action every now and then. It needs to be consistent.
Forever.
Yeah.
Do you see these other countries, how they take to the streets?
Oh, they ain't going.
They're not going. They throwing rocks, bricks. They got the whole block shut down. They ain't nothing you can do. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You know how many police officers it is here? 3,300. I'm talking cops. I'm talking highway patrol. So you think 3,300 cops can stop 1 million motherfuckers in the street?
Nah, hell no.
They gonna be like, I ain't going out there. Fuck this shit.
No. In another way is hitting them where you said it, in their pockets. And we had an example of that on February, I think the 29th. Did you guys hear about that boycott?
No, what happened?
There was a boycott.
Oh, at
And
Target.
Oh,
Target's was after that, but it was a day before.
Okay.
And they said, don't spend any money. It was a Friday.
Oh, we did.
Man, there was millions. Somebody come out and Google how much money businesses lost that day. It was ginormous.
Yeah.
So there is power in the shit. Like you said, we've lost that unity, but some of that is coming back.
Yeah.
And we need some of that to come
But it don't need to come back, it need to stay. It don't need we're like, that's the problem. It come back for 4 minutes and then it's back to how it was 4 minutes later. It's like, you gotta be on code. That's why they white people the way they are, cause they on code. They not admitting nothing wrong that they do, and they partner ain't either. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. That's how we need to be.
Yeah. I think it's a lack of awareness just across the board, especially in the black community. But I think what you said, social media is just, people can't pay attention to themselves, let alone what's going on. There's too many distractions.
And that vape pen.
Yeah,
We don't even know what the hell is in that.
right.
I see so many people on it, they just hitting that motherfucker like 80 times in 60 seconds. You
Yeah.
looking like, God dang.
Yeah.
And then they blowing it in your ear.
Yeah,
You're like, man, get that shit away from me. I don't know what that is.
yeah.
So right now we got
It ain't natural.
drugs,
chemicals definitely.
chemicals, the food bag.
Yeah.
Right.
We got all these bills. Like, if you think about it, like, everybody's stressed. Everybody's stressed out. They're addicted to stuff. They have ADD. They can't focus. That's where we at right now. So you got a bunch of people dealing with that. How can you focus on the problems?
So, as all of that of what we're saying, what do you guys think can be a solution to that?
To me, a solution is the people that are sane-minded, the people that can sit down and have a conversation and listen to other people's perspective, emotional, intelligent people.
Okay.
We sit down and we come up with a plan how to take our money back. We focus on these companies, whatever the insurance companies' names are. We write a list down of the ones that's trying to get over, and those are the ones that we go against. We go to a whole nother insurance company, and I say we do that by the thousands. And after a while, they're gonna drop them prices. They're gonna have to. It's
That's
just
why
like
they didn't show up. That's why they didn't show up, because they don't want to. They
don't want you to know who
what
they
health
are.
Insurance company is actually,
We gotta look it up.
with this.
Right.
Because it's
Right.
definitely going to affect.
I'm sure they all came together and put a little piece of the pie.
For sure.
And that's what they do collectively.
So we got to figure
That's
out
what
the
we
person.
need to do collectively. We need to come together and, like you said, action, going up to our kids' schools. A lot of people are just taking what the teachers say, what the principal said, and as I've gotten older, a lot of black people have told me the similar story. I thought it was just my story, where they said, you can't be this. Well, you want to be that? You can't do that. But I hear so many people who look like me, where their counselors, school counselors, said the same thing. But we need to have the parents to be active, to not just take, like you said, take what they say and hold our children accountable. Little Booby, and I got a little cousin Booby, I'm not talking about you, but when kids are bad, they need to be disciplined. That's love. It's tough love. So we have to get back to loving, and loving sometimes is tough love. But we are afraid of that because we want our kids to be our friends. Or we're too occupied. What do you guys think the reason for that? You're from Chicago. It's so bad in Chicago with that. Why do you think that is?
I don't know about that. No.
Well, in New York,
you got to check in. You have to check in. But when you have the parents working 2 and 3 jobs, they really can't keep track of what's going on, or maybe advocate for their student. I mean, because I look on this phone, this stuff pop up, this parent app. I know what these grades are. I know what's going on, and I send my son a text message. How you got to miss an assignment? What's the 0 about? Like, I check in. I mean, there'll be a teacher who will, I think he said he turned in an assignment, and she gave him a 0, and he said, "No, Mom, I turned it in." So the first thing I said is, "Do you have a witness?" That's crazy, right?
Right.
Do you have a witness? Yeah, my friend such and such. Matt, okay, was he willing to write it down on a piece of paper? Okay, if someone saw you turn it in, right? So I'll be talking to the teacher. I want you to handle it first, but if you have an issue and she tells you she's not gonna allow you to turn it in for a full grade, well, now I'm gonna have to step in. But I can't step in and do these things if I'm working 3 different jobs, and if they keep wanting to have it in the situation here. I mean, people get jobs from out of state to make money in Georgia. I mean, it's a lot of different distractions, like you guys said, and a lot of different issues. The problem is, I think they need financial education. They need to know how to have their money make more money. That helps with stress. It helps with your time, being time broke, so that you can tap in a little bit more with your family and your community. So it's a lot of stuff that we fight, but it's not a fight that you can't, win.
But it need to be a great reset though, because you gotta look at the rent, you gotta look at the prices. Everything is like, how can we thrive and educate our kids, and we tell them work hard, and now we working hard and it ain't changing because everything going up. If people don't stand up, what the hell you gonna do when they raise your rent to 5 racks? What you gonna do when they raise your mortgage to $5,000 a month? What you gonna do?
It'll be like New York, 8 people living in one apartment.
Yeah, but it's already starting to look like that. So we have to come together and we have to really do something in this country. And if we don't, it's not gonna last. It's gonna get crazy.
It's gonna get worse than it is. And as you mentioned, what you gonna do with 5 racks? Well, I've always believed that if you believe in God and you believe in yourself, and in this country, if you bust your tail, good things will happen. And even if you fall down, that there are programs that have been in place for generations to help you when you fall down, because that's a part of life. If you haven't fell down, you probably haven't lived long enough, because it is a part of life. But from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, a lot of these programs are being taken away.
No, but they're secret. A lot of these programs you don't even know about. They're not promoting them. So it's like, you just gonna wake up in the morning like, man, there might be a program. You could Google it, but it's like then you don't have the information to
resources.
But you can find it if you're hungry enough to get some food.
Also, your ribs gotta touch first before you find it. You gotta your lips white. You feeling like You know, you're starving.
Stomach touching the back.
Yeah, and you need to keep that mentality.
Yeah.
Even when you're fat and your ribs aren't
that's how I
touching, you
am.
need to keep that hunger.
Yeah.
Because if you don't keep your foot on the gas pedal,
So you see what generation we come from though? I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
We fighters.
Yeah.
Do these kids fight like that?
no,
Is these kids hungry?
no,
Is they lips white?
nope.
No, cause they fed. They fat and they got hella issues with working hard and being accountable and taking initiative. And it's a lot of things that I feel like these young people lack. Don't want to work. They come with a sense of entitlement. It's a lot of things that we speaking on, but that's not going to be the case when I'm 60, 70 years old. These are the people that's going to be fighting for this country, and we old. They not going to protect us.
Yeah, we need to
So we
reset
got
that
to
too.
reset that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
How we educate these kids.
Right.
How we raising these kids. We not showing them no accountability whatsoever.
So, question for you guys to piggyback off
Yeah.
that. What is the difference? A black kid from the hood, from the south side, the west side, east side, whatever it may be, and a black kid from Sandy Springs, Dunwoody, Alpharetta, they both going to experience some form of racism. What are the differences though? What things are the kid from the more urban area, what is he going to experience? And what is the other kid from Alpharetta, Sandy Springs, so on and so forth? What is he going to experience? Because they're both going to experience
It might be worse in the suburban community because you are surrounded by a lot of white people.
Or people that don't look
And
like
people
you.
that don't, what these cats doing in our neighborhood. So, you're gonna deal with that, but at the same time, you might be well versed with dealing with it because you did grow up around different cultures. See, I was a military kid. I grew up around all ethnicity. So I never felt like any ethnicity was better than any ethnicity. Everybody in the same boat. But I did, receive racism and prejudice because we did used to get into altercations with white kids and kids that parents may have been sheriffs and all kind of stuff. But, they used to wear rebel flag belts and they used to say little sneaky stuff. But I actually got kicked out of school for a whole semester because one of these kids called one of my buddies the N-word, and I put hands on him. You feel me? He was way bigger than him, picking on him. So we got into a fight. They kicked me out for a semester. That's 9 weeks. They kicked him out for 10 days. Racism. You know what I'm saying? I seen that growing up. They're gonna pick and choose. I didn't start the fight, but I did put hands on somebody. You know what I'm saying? But it was because I was defending another kid from my neighborhood. And he was little, and this dude was bullying him.
That wasn't equitable at all.
No. And I still went to alternative school. I still went to school. I still was working. But off that situation, they was targeting me. His daddy was a sheriff. So even when I graduated from high school, they used to bother me and follow my car and, do little weird stuff. Even when I got older, they was writing me on Facebook and, you know what I'm saying? So I know what it's like, to deal with real racism and, I even had a buddy that they say he hung himself in jail. He got locked up for the night. He 18 years old. Why would he kill himself? And he got a daughter. My other buddy shot him in his back. He had a cell phone. They said he had a gun. He was running. Shot him in the back.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that happen. One of our buddies got shot in the back. Terrible. And it was so atrocious is most attorneys won't take these police brutality cases unless somebody's dead or very severely injured, like so bad, because it's so hard to prove. And that's just ridiculous because I personally have had guns pulled on me by police officers twice for what did they say? Pulled me over, I had the light on my license plate wasn't
bright enough.
Right. They said it was out, but it was back on. But who gets pulled over for that, huh?
Right.
Tag like.
It was nighttime.
Don't you got
I
lights
had
on
a
your
hoodie
car so you
on.
can see the tag?
Yeah.
Like you got lights on your car as the officer, your license flashing on my tag. I know you can see it. So why do I need a light on my tag?
On you. Like, you just have to protect yourself a little bit different as a black man. And, you know, I just make sure it's always open communication so that he's not afraid to talk to me or ask me questions about anything.
That's great. You're doing a wonderful job. Congratulations.
Thank
You
you.
know, and the battle continues. But what I wanted to touch on, because nowadays things are changing with gender roles, right? We're all equal. But I have the belief that men should lead. We are born to lead. What are your thoughts on that? Be real. We're talking, we will be honest.
She sat up a little bit when you was talking.
We keep it 100. We keep it 100 because this is our community, right? And other cultures, almost every other culture, they understand that. But our culture, we're not. And I think that hurts our families. That's my opinion. It hurts our families. And I think as a young man, he needs men like here around this table to be a man.
Good examples. Need good examples of good male leaders.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up with good examples, so I'm blessed.
Yes.
My
we
father
see
and
that
my
who you
grandfather.
are.
But yes, that is, I think men should lead. There's nothing wrong with that. But
You got the
definitely
right
wanna-
leader because you can't follow no dummy.
But I'm gonna say this, like, let me just piggyback on what she's saying, right? She had a great example of what a leader was, right?
Yes.
But it's not the same no more. When you talk about leading, right? You gotta be able to lead your woman and still let her know that y'all doing this together.
Yes.
Because car insurance ain't the same as it was when her daddy was leading. Rent ain't the same when her daddy was leading. Groceries ain't the same when her daddy was leading. So we need to, some stuff has to be, the rules gotta be written different. See, now we need to focus on unity and working together to build. All of that, you lead and I just sit back and watch you lead and I just watch you do everything by yourself. No. If I'm opening your door, you need to reach over and open mine. If I'm carrying something and you see me struggling, you need to be able to say, "Hey man, go help my man." You gotta be able to watch my back while I watch your front. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
I feel like with the leadership is you a man and you're leading, and your woman not watching your back. So you can't just take your eyes off the mission. We got to look out for one another. I can lead, but you still got to be a good follower.
Did she know how to?
And
She had
a lot of women don't know how to follow a leader.
Hey, now look.
I'm just being honest with you.
But they haven't seen it. Like she saw
You
it.
naturally do it. Well, a good leader, you naturally will follow
Speak
a good
on.
leader.
Yeah.
No.
But no.
A
hey,
woman would
I-
not naturally follow a good leader if she's never seen a leader
never seen
before.
one.
If you don't know what a leader is, then what you following? So I can come with a plan. I can write 10 things down of improvement to a young lady or a young man, right? And I say, you need to work on this, and this. And then they say, well, what you need to work on?
Defense.
Well, this is not what this meeting's about.
Right.
It ain't about what I gotta work
I
on.
love to play devil's advocate. I'm sorry, man. TP, that my dog. I love this nigga. All through. You hear me? Rachel too. She's amazing. You hear me? But okay. Now, I do have that question of, let's just say, like we said, my man said, "Hey yo, you know what? A woman can't teach a man how to be a man or lead or do this." But you know what a woman can teach?
What?
This is from a young brother who raised by a single mom. How to treat a woman. How to be there for a woman. Things that a woman looks into or what they look for within a man. Is that not like a cheat code?
Oh, it definitely is.
It is.
Yeah, but
So it's not raising. Hold on, T. It's not raising a man at the end of the day, but it's raising them how to treat a woman. And if that's the code, I would want to be better on how to treat a woman than to be a man at the end of the day. Because I hate to say this shit, bro. This shit is wild, bro. Now we're going back into, you feel me, trauma type shit, you hear me? But
It's real, though.
Yeah, it is real. My baby mom actually helped me become a better man.
For sure.
My mom taught me how to treat a woman to get that good woman. But then once I got that good woman, that woman showed me how to be a man. Okay, look, baby, you need to do this, plan for this, and do this. My baby mom at the age of 18, 19 had her own spot. Taking care of this, doing this, whoop, bada bing, bada boom. I didn't have that shit.
So let me say this.
Elaborate.
We need each other.
No, facts.
We need each other. We need each other.
So hold on. So with this, it goes to saying, you know how they used to always say, hey, good wife, happy life? Mm-hmm. And that bullshit. It's a good spouse, happy house.
I believe in that.
They say good. They say what happy
You
man
wife-
is Lord's plan.
Talk to me nice, baby. Talk to me nice.
But it's each other.
It's
and-
each other.
and
That's
I
it
think-
is.
That's the key now.
Because I always-
it ain't no certain.
Hey,
you just lead.
together.
No, we move
We
together.
move together.
And we grow together.
Because don't get me
You gotta
wrong,
come
hey,
from
now
love.
I
Place of
still
love.
believe in the man
Yeah,
is
the man
the
gotta
head.
do the heavy shit.
The man is the head, but then the woman is the what?
The neck.
Neck. Yo, I may be tunnel vision. I'm looking this way. I'm gonna get my goal.
We need each
but
other.
then my neck will help me look. Hey, baby, you can see over here.
But look,
You can look here.
this
Hey, baby, you
this
can
is
go
what
here.
we
It's
become.
different
Though.
ways to
This
get
is
to
what
the
we.
goal.
But this is what we become. If I'm the head, right, and
Yeah.
you're not the neck, then how can my head stay up? Cause you gotta be able to keep my head
Keep
up.
my head up.
Keep me
above floor,
sane.
on everything.
Don't keep me stressed out.
On
Don't
everything.
be
put this
don't
shit
be
here.
creating issues out of nothing. We got cause I'm a
But then
man
again,
is a
hey,
solution person.
But then again,
Right.
T, hey, but then again, T, I'm gonna be real. Then we have to take a little accountability within ourselves. What is women are we picking?
No, that's the truth.
Because I had to look back at myself and be like, God damn.
But how do we? See, because look, I'm 42 years old. I done been with a lot of different women.
Yeah.
But when these women are seeming the same, then what you dealing with is the generation of what is made these women out to be.
Okay,
That's
now,
what I'm
now
saying.
I'm with you.
No,
on
hold
that.
on, hold on.
You can't
We have to go into conclusion, and like I said, I think dialogue is very important, and a lot of
very
people
important.
are afraid to have this type of dialogue.
They ignore
But
it.
we
too.
must. They ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we must come with solutions. So I
Wait.
like each person to speak of one or two solutions that you think could make
Okay.
our community better.
Let me go
And then-
first real quick. I'm
you
sorry.
can go
I
first.
do
You can go
apologize,
first.
if you don't mind. Because I do
Community.
want to piggyback off of what he said. He's
Okay.
right. He's true. It's the community. That shit does play a big factor in a part. All that social media shit
Yep.
does play a factor into a part as well. But then we have our own type of, how can I put this? What we want within a woman. You hear me? So what we want to deal with. If I don't want to deal with this, I choose not to. But then again, if you look at the main, what is it? You look at all of the diagram or whatever, the big pie of the chart. You have this amount of women, 25% of women who are still down to earth, who are dealing, who know the game or whatever.
They got a moral compass.
More compass. Then you do have a little bit, let's just say 65%.
That
don't, bro. They really genuinely
Wanna
are
have
moved
fun.
by social media.
Now,
Okay.
you say that. What would you say with men? As they gave that percentage, how do you feel the percentages of men?
Don't forget now,
that
hey,
don't
we at
have what do you
90%.
say?
That's
Hold on,
25,
hold on, hold on.
65, maybe
But
a 90.
this-
Let me let her answer.
Yeah.
That have a good moral compass. What percent would you say? Because
And
those
now
numbers.
watch
you
this.
said-
I promise you, I already know Miss Rachel, but she rare. She within that 10% pie chart.
Yeah,
that I'm
Right,
describing.
but
You
right,
can't-
we're not talking about her. We're talking about the sisterhood.
She gonna hold them accountable, right? You know they ain't.
Let her
No,
speak.
yeah,
Let her
no,
speak.
don't add that. Don't add that.
Speak.
Let
No,
mom
I keep it
speak.
real. I'm
Yes.
not the type of person that tell people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Because you can't grow that way. And a real friend is going to tell you the truth, not what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of men are hurt out here. You know, it's a lot of
not
hurt
mad at
men.
that.
So
Talk about it.
That's a
used
good-
to dealing with a certain type of female, so they low key ready, and expecting the worst. And that's why I love having the conversations, because I want to see where it's coming from. You have to see, like why is he responding that way? Are you assuming that we can't have a conversation? Because you know we can fight fair. Like we don't have to agree with everything. So we can sit down and have a conversation, and I can sit here to gain clarity, not just to like wait for you to finish so I can say what I want to say. Like I want to actually hear like what you have to say and why you feel the way you feel. Like, cause I can't get to the meat and potatoes if I don't know where you're coming from, right? Cause maybe you triggered, maybe you're hurt, maybe it's something I said reminding you of your ex. Like I literally, when I listen, I actively listen and I pay attention. I want to know. I'm like, cause so I'll act different. I'll just, depending on what you say, I'll say, oh, okay.
Wonderful.
What you said, it was this. You have to repeat what the person said so they know they heard you.
She moved
So
it.
let's go into what do you think one or two solutions to make our community stronger and better?
Come from a place of love. You need to have unity. You need to have the leaders in the community work with other leaders. There has to be somebody that's not afraid to I'm definitely one of those people that I don't care what nobody says. If it's not right, I gotta say something. You know,
And
those people you
they
gotta
don't want
congregate.
confrontation. They go along to get along.
Yeah, because
so
it's
we
not
need people to
confrontation.
be
It's-
more
Don't be afraid to speak.
truthful. All right, let's
Yeah.
go to this brother back here. What do you think?
I would say as a business owner, as you know. Myself, I would say community is basically, once you make it as a black person, reach back. Give financial literacy, financial understanding,
Yes.
black understanding about you can be better as a black person, woman or man. You don't have to be second class, second thoughts, second citizen. Put yourself first, financially, politically, community awareness. Put everything first and you will succeed in your community. And your community will see it all for you. This is what it is.
Oh, I like it. I love it. What about you, brother?
Man, honestly, man, I feel that mindset is the main thing, man.
Mindset.
Mindset is the most important.
Okay.
The way you think about everything is how you think as everything in your life dictated. That's facts, and I just learned that from myself personally.
Okay.
Just coming up how I was and thinking like, man, I want to do this and go do it. Mindset and action, that's pretty much it.
Mindset
Simple
and
form.
action.
Not action.
Mindset and action.
Yes, sir.
How about you?
Check this out. Just for everybody out there, I know y'all looking at this on the phone, on the computer, on the internet or whatever. At a certain point, you got to put the screens down. You know what I'm saying? Take some time to enjoy life, the world, nature, look up at the stars. You feel what I'm saying? Other than that, if you're going to look at the screens, be aware of what you're consuming. Just because you got a phone don't mean it's got to be all entertainment. Stay aware. You know, we're talking about awareness. You know what I mean? Read some news. Watch something that's, you know, can give you something. You know what I'm saying? Absorb information. Don't just absorb entertainment.
I like that, brother. I think that we need to start taking more accountability as a race. I feel like right now where we are as black men and black women, we so separated when it comes to understanding where we've come and where we used to be. We pointing the finger at each other. It's a woman, it's a man, it's this, it's that. No, whatever's wrong with you as a human, you need to look inside yourself and you need to improve that about yourself. Because a lot of people do lack awareness of, you know, how they can't be led or how they not a leader. Like you need to
Some
work.
people leading too hard. Like,
Do
that. You know.
Yeah. Well, you know when you dealing with somebody that you don't like that, you know, their personality show you who they are. You be able, the proof is in the pudding. And then what they'll do is they'll try to tell you I disagree with your experience. So I'm experiencing you. I see how you move, and you disagree with me experiencing how you are.
Yeah.
Shut up. That's dumb. That's dumb. You gotta be smarter than that.
It's your experience.
It's my experience with
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah.
I agree with what everyone has said there. I mean, I think if we can apply these things, we'll be so much stronger. My few things that I think would make our community stronger is number one, what should be number one? Spirituality. I don't care if it's God, Allah, the universe, but it's
talking
peace.
my type of soul,
It's
my brother.
peace.
You hear me? It's peace.
And it's
love,
not about
and
being
happiness.
perfect.
That's it.
But you're striving. You're striving for that
trying.
plan, and we have to keep growing.
Growing as a
Growing.
people, bro. That's
So,
it, man.
and I think with a question I was saying to you, and I think it goes to what he said. Once you've made it, We gotta reach back up and lift the others up. What we have done is when we made it, we just care about minds and that's it. So I think that those who have been blessed and fortunate enough to make it, to reach back down to those other younger ones and keep it real with them.
Let them know if they're ever injured.
If you're ever injured,
Personal injury ATL.
personal injury ATL, and he is not only a great attorney, he's a man of the people and for the community.
Visit personalinjuryatl.com for all your personal injury needs.